And that boat is just being mirrored. See how it's up off the water plane? Visible water plane. I can catch this boat. Well, first thing I want to do is thank Richard Aubin for helping me out with understanding Riley's criterion, diffraction, refraction, and a few other things. I'm just a silly flat-tard dumbass with a camera. I do this by myself, and it's really hard to, even see what I'm doing when I have to go back and look at what I'm doing. I can't watch what I'm doing at the same time that I'm doing it. So I'm using a GoPro camera to angle my camera where I think it's right. But, this is an experiment that I did. And if you watch this and then you watch the video afterward where I'm out on this bird rack with my camera mounted to it, it'll give you some idea of of my theory, my opinion, my thoughts, my experiment, what it shows. Does it show the same thing? That's up to you to decide. I don't try to get you to believe me or anything. I just want to show experiments. Of course, everything I do is free. I don't ask for nobody to give me money. I feel as if information should be free to all, no matter what. But I don't put down people that ask for patronism. If people want to donate money to somebody, great, man. I think that's wonderful that people are willing to do that. I ask for none only because I don't feel as if I should be asking. And just watch my video, see what you think. Yes, some of these are longer than others, but this is the only way that I can really show what I'm talking about and what my experiments show and what I feel as if is happening out on the horizontal plane of Earth, what we see. So again, I don't think I have enough room, so we'll, like I said, I'll bring it back up and try it again at that different angle. Matter of fact, let me set my camera there now. At least I think I had it set. I do believe right in this area. But we want to be able to see, a double reflection of the light that I'm using in order to actually see this work properly. If you think about water and how water is a good mirror, you also have to take into consideration water rolls in and rolls out with the tides. Wind also affects the water. It can move water around and create a concave convex mirror. This is what I am using right here to show. Also, can the atmosphere create a mirroring effect at long distances because we're looking through a lot of the atmosphere? Is that quite possible? I don't know. I'll leave it up to you as the viewer to decide. No, I gotta get my camera on the right angle here. Alright, right here should actually be a good spot where, here we'll keep it to where you can just kind of see both reflections, a little bit of both anyhow. I will be doing some other experiments in the near future, but in due time. I'm limited to my time because I do run a business and it is hard. Plus, I have some personal issues that I have to deal with also. But, just take into consideration what I showed in my video, and then think about what we see on the horizon, or what you'll see in my video following this. And some parts I will slow down so you can see it a little bit better. So forgive me. It's hard to do this when you're all by yourself, and I am all by myself pretty much in this search for my truth. I only have a couple people that are that are around my life that actually do show some kind of attention to what I do. Not that they really support me 100%, but that's okay. I understand. The next object I want to use is a styrofoam ball. It's definitely bigger than this light, but I want to use it like it was the moon. But I'm going to do this light again. I'm not a big channel, and I don't ever really expect to be. But some of my observations that I show, people don't pay attention to the smaller details that are in them. Number one, probably because they're long and people don't like watching long observations. But isn't observational science part of it? Isn't that what we should be, looking at as observations and, tests instead of bullshit theories? And this is what I do. I do observational videos. And I show this a lot in my videos. When you're zoomed in on the sun and you show them right where they actually meet is the true horizon line. You can see how they're blending together. And as they blend together, not only are they disappearing within itself, but this is where I say too that the sun actually gets smaller within that reflection. A lot of people don't understand, what I meant by that, and what I mean by that is it appears to be going over a curve, but if you really watch the edges of the sun, it actually is getting smaller, but it's getting smaller within its own reflection, and it's hard to understand that unless you have, like I said, unless you really do pay close attention to a lot of the details in it, and just keep reviewing it, and picture it in your mind too. I mean, I don't claim to have a photographic memory, but I do use my mind to do a lot of picturing of things that I see, and I think that's one of the abilities that helps me when I'm doing these observations. And I want to try to get this right at a certain edge here. I mean, it's such a small little area that we're seeing that it happens this way. But that's when you start seeing the reflection of the sun meeting the water. And the water that the sun is reflecting off of is water, but the water actually is due to the angular resolution. It is water, but it's acting more as a mirror, and that's why you get this effect. We'll move it back again a little bit more, so you see how they separate. Excuse me. And then as the sun approaches that horizon line, we see them start to blend and start to meet. And right there is the magic. Right here is where the magic starts to occur. And like me, hate me, I don't care. Sometimes I feel like the bigger channels do overlook a lot of my observations because they don't look at the details in them. And if you watch one video and compare it to another video and then compare it to another video, you see all kinds of things occurring in it. And one day, maybe I ought to take and make a four-way. Boats just vanish into this mirroring effect. That's all it does. Just like the mirror at a fun house. Makes things vanish. They don't want you researching that or showing that. They want people just to believe that, this is possible. I'm going to zoom back and show you how far away this boat actually is from me. Hopefully I can find him again. There he comes. And look at, you can see his wake even. It's bullshit. Baloney shit. Nothing's making this boat disappear as far as curvature goes. What makes it disappear is the distortion that it gets from this mirroring effect. And the camera cannot resolve that fine line, that fine edge between the boat and the water itself. It can't render that edge. So the boat just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller until you just can't render it no more. That's what it comes down to. This boat should have already went over the curvature of Earth, because I guarantee you that boat's more than 3 miles away from me. It should have been gone. Going like a hurricane. Going like a freight train. Going like a 59 Cadillac. It should have been gone. But there it is. I can see for miles and miles and miles. I have to change my battery on my GoPro for the ride back. Boat just keeps getting farther and farther and farther away. Until you just can't, the camera cannot render it any longer. See, it actually goes out of focus because it gets so far away, the camera cannot focus in on it, so it can't render it. So it just starts getting distorted and turns into a blob. A blob of white blooky blooky blook. So again, go out and do your own testing, people. You'll see what I mean. The Earth cannot be a ball. What happens to a boat when it is no longer really moving at a fast rate of speed? It settles into the water, and when it settles into the water, why, of course, it sinks a little deeper into the water. This is why, too, sometimes I will catch people standing on a boat, or actually look like they're standing in the water, and you cannot see their boat. Now, these boats with bimini tops, you can always see the bimini top, but sometimes it gets so distorted that you can't see the detail of what's between the two. Okay, so that's just something to think about while you're viewing some of my footage. Um, and, again, where is the actual horizon line, water line? You see this visible water line, but that boat was not floating in the air. And that boat was also not a mirage, even though that's what mainstream science wants you to believe that it is. It is a mirage being somehow magically refracted up from behind the curvature of Earth. It's not. And I have plenty of proof to prove that it is more caused from the mirroring effect than it is anything else. And that's a concave convex mirror that I use. There's still a fog towards shore, but not as bad. Wonder if I shouldn't try to mount my camera back over there again. Shoot back to shore. or if I shouldn't try to do a 10-minute time lapse of this right here. Can, as long as the boat don't go by me and beat the hell out of my camera and shake it. Oh, I don't know if I want to try or not. I think I'd rather try to shoot back toward the shore. I slowed this little segment down so you could watch how this bird goes in and out, invisible, visible, in and out of our frame of sight, because this nearing causes things to vanish, disappear, just like my mirror test did in the very beginning of the video. Just thought I'd slow that down so you could have a better view. Let me try a 10-minute time lapse on it and see what happens. Okay, I slowed this part down by 0.25 times. It does get a little wiggly because I did have a couple of boats go behind me and shake my boat, which caused, of course, the bird rack to shake and also, shake my camera. So in turn, that's why it's a little bouncy, but you can also see these birds flying in and out and vanishing in between. Alright, well, I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and hopefully you learned something from it. Thanks. Bye.